Okay, here we are. Welcome to the show. We don't have a name yet.
Nope. Good morning.
Good morning. No, it's not morning still. Morning. Good morning in Hawaii.
Oh, that's right. It is good afternoon.
Are we going to tell everybody where we are? I used to, on my old show, I broadcast from an undisclosed location. But we are in the middle of America. We can say that.
That's exactly right. Middle of America.
In the heart of the country.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Brought to you by MK Enterprises.
MK Enterprises. There you go. Not MK Ultra.
No, not yet.
All right. So we're going to start every show off with a review or a tasting of some kind of bourbon or liquor. That sound right?
That's right.
I guess we should introduce ourselves. I'm Matt. That's all you're going to get from me. You can introduce yourself.
Well, my stage name, Biff Engler.
Biff Engler.
But I go by Kevin.
There you go. A.K.A. Kevin. So what are we drinking today, Kevin?
Today, this is a normal one. No surprises to most people, especially bourbon drinkers. This is Four Roses small batch. It's a go-to bourbon standard.
Yeah.
No surprises on it. It's a good bourbon. Good flavor.
It's a drinker, is what they say, right?
It's
a good drink of bourbon.
Kind of mild on the palate, but it's got a good flavor profile. Mm-hmm. And I figured it'd be a good one to start off in because everybody's familiar, and we want people to be familiar. So
yeah, nice and easy.
Yeah.
Good legs. That's a good one. I like Four Roses. That's a good, safe buy. It's not terribly expensive. How much did you pay for this bottle?
You know what? It's been a little while, but normally they run around $30.
Yeah, I was gonna say 30 or 35,
depending on where you go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a love for bourbon in common and other drinks. And I'm no beer now. No more beer for me.
No.
Yeah, I'm getting too fat. Especially in the wintertime.
Right.
Maybe in the summer I can have a beer and if I'm more active.
Well, the thing about it is, for me, it was, I probably go back to about 2017. Mm-hmm. Started drinking bourbon more as a challenge than anything.
Oh, yeah?
And when I first started drinking it, I thought you're supposed to drink it like you do in the Old West. Someone gives you a shot of it, and you drink it like a shot. And you're going, wow, this is not fun. Why do people do it?
That's wild.
And I was doing a thing at a local restaurant, and they had a whiskey club where you drank 100 of them, and, you got a T-shirt, name on the wall, the whole bit. And I decided to do it for nothing else, just to say I did it. The thing was, I got about 20 in, and I started to say to myself, "Oh, you know what? There's something to this."
Yeah.
And I started to slow it down. And then it came not the Old West, but more to the mid-40s type era where, it was like a gentleman's drink.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started to slow it down and do little sips and tastings and really tried to figure it out, and fell in love with it since.
Developed your palate. Huh?
Oh, sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started out with, Jim Beam and Jack Daniels and didn't know the difference between whiskey, Kentucky whiskey or bourbon, Kentucky, whatever, Tennessee whiskey and Kentucky bourbon.
Right.
And ryes and all that stuff. And it's like anything. The more you try it, the more you do it, the more you pay attention to what you're doing, then you really appreciate it.
Right.
The work and the craftsmanship that goes into it. I started getting into scotches after that, and I really enjoy Scotch, single malt.
I was going to say, Scotch is tough.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go. And it's very distinct.
It is.
Like, it's hard to tell some bourbons apart from another. But Scotches, you can drink one from another and go, oh, it's from this region.
Yeah.
Easy.
I prefer the Islay scotches, the smoky, peaty, funky ones. I like those.
Yeah, gross.
All right. So, Kevin, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and as far as you want?
Well, sure.
What do folks need to know about you? Why do we care about what you have to say?
Oh, that's kind of an interesting subject. I might be able to go all day just for that. My name's Kevin. I grew up in this area. Moved around some while I was in the Army. Yes, I was in the Army 16 years, both enlisted and officer. So I know it from both angles, my time in there. You know what? It's been, what is this? Almost 25, so 14, 20 years ago since I got out. Sometimes it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does feel like 20 years ago. It just depends on the mood.
Like when you try to do a push-up?
When I try to do a push-up, absolutely. But I catch myself walking through grocery stores, and sometimes I'm going to go down an aisle and I make a left face. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's strange.
Army experience. As far as my family goes, I was the first college grad in my family. So that was kind of a big deal at the time. Married, 5 kids, all grown. My youngest is 15. I have a son who's in the Marine Corps. He's loving it. And that kind of follows the history for the family. My whole family throughout history was Marine Corps, and I'm the lone person who went in the Army. And that's because my dad said, don't join the Marine Corps. So I joined the Army.
You actually listened to your dad, huh?
Yeah. And then my son, he joined the Marine Corps.
There you go.
Kept the tradition going.
Yeah.
I try not to define myself by my work, which is tough to do for most men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge every day, because depending on what you're doing, I get pretty successful at what I do and whatever job I hold. And I tend to lean that way. And so it's a struggle to keep my identity, which I work on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a man of faith. I'm a cancer survivor, stage 4, not operable. That could be a podcast all on its own. I try to love life, enjoy friends, active in the VFW. I'm currently active in the Association of the United States Army, which is the education arm of the United States Army. I'm the chaplain in that organization, really enjoy it. For the St. Louis chapter.
Oh, you just gave away where we are. I'll delete that. We'll bleep it out.
I said the St. Louis chapter. The St. Louis chapter is technically the gateway chapter, so it covers Missouri, Illinois.
Okay.
I'm not giving away our location.
We're somewhere in there.
Although you can probably tell based on my accent.
Yeah. It's not a big secret. We don't need to keep it a secret. It's fine.
So let's. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay.
What about you, Matt?
I'm just Matt. I'm here. I've also.
You feel like I coerced you into this. I'm just here.
Well, so I just moved back home here after being away for a long time. I enlisted in the Army in 1997. And then I had a break in my enlistment and was in the reserves for a little bit. And then after 9/11, I went back on active duty and stayed on active duty until 2011 as a mobilized reservist / active duty. I walked away after 14 years. I decided not to re-enlist. For different reasons that we're probably going to talk about, and spent the last 18 years. Well, yeah, because I was stationed in South Carolina, so we decided to stay there when I got out, and so I just moved back here about 9 months ago, and I'm glad to be home.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I never thought I would want to move back to Missouri again. Never did. I think my whole childhood, I would just wanted adventure to get out of Missouri. There's nothing here for me. I need to go to California or some foreign country or whatever. And I did all that and realized that this is the best place. And this is the best. Missouri is the best. I love it here. And that really hit me when we had a baby. Me and my wife had a baby last year. We came home to visit and saw family. And that was the first time I felt homesick since 1997.
Wow.
Yeah. I was one of those jerks that never called home, never rode home, just out doing my thing and not concerned at all about my poor mom. So I actually got a Red Cross message one day. Got called out in formation, and the first sergeant yelled at all of us. I was a sapper, so he was always, "Sappers, I don't know, I can't believe I have to tell you this, but you need to call your mothers." If I ever get one more phone call in my office about some sapper not calling his mother, you're all going to be, whatever, cussed us out. And I was like, ooh, he might be talking to me. So I called my mom. She's like, "Oh my God, I thought you were," I don't know what was going on at the time. I think we had spun up for East Timor back then, 97. We were, East Timor, some little island off of, I don't even know, is it Indonesia or something like that?
Somewhere over there.
And, we're sitting on the tarmac with the Rangers and getting ready to go over there. And the Australians beat us there, and it was over. So our planes didn't even come in yet to pick us up, and it was already over. I think that's what was going on in the news. She thought I was there, or Afghanistan. I think we had bombed Afghanistan, too.
So your first sergeant said to you all to call home?
Call your mothers.
See, that's where we're dating ourselves, because I remember my drill sergeant yelling at all of us and saying, "Right home."
Right home.
We didn't have phones.
No, we had to use... I had a AT&T calling card. That's how I called home. I go to a payphone and enter, I think it was like 30 digits long thing.
Oh, at least.
And, I'm okay, Mom. Everything's fine. I'm still in the United States. And that was about it.
Funny thing about phone calls like that, when my son went into the Marines and he arrived at boot camp out in California, they have a script that's on a board right next to the phone. Mm-hmm. And they yell it out when they call, and then they just hang up the phone. And I remember my son making that call, and it was late at night. I answered the phone. We were sleeping. And it's him yelling into the phone the staged message.
Yeah.
And I could hear the drill sergeants in the background screaming and hollering at everybody.
Awesome.
And then just click. And you don't even get a chance to say anything to them.
No.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, we had when we, day one, got to, I was in Alpha Company, 35th Engineers. They give us a card, and you just put your name on it. And that's a postcard they send home to your mom. Like, "Mom and Dad, I made it to Fort Leonard Wood safe, and everything's great here." Mm-hmm. That's all we had. And I think it was like a week later we got a phone call or something like that.
Right.
And that was the same thing. It was 3 phone booths. Everybody lined up. Pick up the phone, got your calling card, call home.
You're yelling at the troop in front of you. Get off the stinking phone.
Hurry up, man, hurry up. Drill sergeants screaming and yelling, people doing push-ups. And you're just like, "Mom, I'm okay." And then kids crying and all that sort of stuff. It was great.
Right.
Good times. So, now I'm back here in Missouri. Starting over again. 45 years old. Got a great job. I love a bunch of great folks. My wife is originally from California, went to college in Idaho, and then moved to South Carolina to be with some family there. And that's where we met. And since we've lived here in Missouri, she is just amazed at how genuinely nice everybody is. We've been all over downtown and all the county, everywhere. She's just can't get over it.
Yeah, that is one of our bright spots. We don't tend to wear our feelings on our sleeve and hold it all in. When you run into someone here, it's genuine.
Yeah.
Whether happy nice, angry, mad.
Yeah.
You know right off the bat.
Right. You know if they like you or not.
Yeah.
And, so that's where we're at. We just moved into a new house. getting settled in. I just put the last of the cardboard in the pickup truck today to haul off, and now we're already doing a podcast. This is fun.
I know, this is fantastic. My dream.
Is it? Well, good, man. Good. So we talked about a topic, come up with a topic for the show, and we just kind of wanted to do introduction, do our whiskey tasting, kind of talk about who we are, and get into some current events, talk about what's on our mind.
Yeah, so speaking of whiskey tasting, since we're right in it, when it comes to the tongue, when you're trying to taste different types of bourbons, the tip of your tongue is the sweet spot. If you're going to come up with what you're tasting.
Okay.
The tip of your tongue is going to be the sweet spot. And you get toward the middle on the sides, left or right, that's where you're going to get the sour taste off and on. And then toward the back is when you get the bitterness. So depending on how you taste a bourbon and you come across some profile, what you're thinking about, it's going to be based on where it's settling in on your tongue. Okay. It could be anything. Or you might get all of them at once. So typically, what I like to do is when I first try one, I tend to let it settle in the mouth a little bit. You don't swish it around like wine. It's not that kind of drink.
Okay.
Kind of let it settle, and then, take that swallow and see where it settles on your tongue. And you kind of get that initial perspective on, okay, this is what I'm running into. And for instance, on the Four Roses here, for me, I'm kind of getting more toward the tip of the tongue for me. The sweetness out of this particular bourbon. And then if I was doing that, then it's going to be more towards molasses or maple for me. And then it kicks back into a little bit of allspice. And it's not very floral, and it's not very smoky either. So, I don't get the toasted feeling out of it that you would out of some bourbons. But that's what I get out of the small batch. It's, it's a pleasant drink.
Yeah, it's definitely sweet. Definitely a sweeter bourbon, which most bourbons are kind of sweet, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be.
A little caramel, molasses, maple syrup type of flavor.
Yeah.
This one, I could feel it in the middle of my tongue. The burn is just right in the middle of my tongue. So it's not a immediate punch in the mouth with alcohol.
Right.
So which is always good. You could taste it and then a little bit of a burn later. I've never actually done an official tasting, how to taste whiskey. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and seen how to do it, but I just I like it. It tastes good to me, so I like it. And,
sure.
Evan Williams to me is a good standard bourbon to drink if I'm, get home from work and want to have a drink.
Oh, it sounds like that might be the next one that we have.
Yeah, we'll have some Evan Williams next. And I actually joined this Bardstown, what do they call it? Bardstown Bourbon Society or something like that. But it's the Evan Williams distillery, and there's a lot of other bourbons that are made there. I learned a lot. How it all starts out as the same. A lot of these people use the Seagram's white liquor, and then they age it themselves. So a lot of times the alcohol you're actually drinking comes from the same factory.
Right.
Everybody just ages it differently or puts their own little twist on it. Mm-hmm. The more expensive bourbons, they're going to be the ones that actually distill their own. I think Buffalo Trace does that, right? They distill their own, or do they buy?
No, you know what? I can't remember.
I'll have to look into that.
I know Maker's Mark does their own. I've been to Maker's Mark.
Oh, okay.
Met with Bill Salfin, the man who made Maker's Mark what it is today.
Wow.
That was a fun time with him for a couple hours.
That'd be cool.
And that was completely unannounced, unintended. He just happened to run into us while we were there and
neat.
Started talking to us and walking through an entire tour of the facility with him.
Dang, he gave you 2 hours, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty well.
Probably more if we weren't restricted on time because we were down there to pick a barrel for a restaurant. So that was a good time.
For your restaurant?
Well, the one I hang out at.
Oh, okay.
All the time. The one here that I hang out most.
Maybe we can get him as a sponsor one day.
Yeah, possibly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you never know. Business is slow, so I do know that.
Oh, well, maybe we can help him out.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if they even want us to mention them first.
Yes.
How about that? We'll get permission to mention who it is.
Right.
But I've been there before. It's great. Great place. Every time I go to a new restaurant, I always order a burger and fries. That'll tell you how everything else is going to be, in my opinion. So if they can make a good burger, good fries, just standard stuff, if they pay attention to that, they're going to be really good. So next time we go, we're going to get fancy. So, Four Roses, the way that this hits your palate, this is the type of bourbon you prefer, or what do you prefer?
It's one that I would drink on a daily basis. Like if it not for a special occasion, something like that, I'm going to break out something different.
Yeah.
But if I'm just home from work, spend an evening, maybe playing a game with the family, whatever, Four Roses would be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, I know that you're a traditional guy, traditional family. I'm trying to get that way myself. I'm always wanted to have a traditional family, stay-at-home wife. I work, come home, dinner's cooking, kids hanging out. But so you guys, you're big family, 5 kids, and you and your wife. And you have family game night? Is it a regular family game night or just like, hey, you guys want to play a game tonight?
No, we try to do something at least once a week.
Yeah?
We try to.
Okay.
It's a little more difficult now between, one in college, 2 working full-time, one still in high school. They all have jobs, whether part-time or not, and they're friends. So you start to work around all of that. But we do make time for it.
Yeah.
We ended up playing last night.
Oh, cool.
A new game to us anyway called Tapple. I think that's what it is. Tapple? To look it up. But it is the alphabet in a circle with a timer. And when you push the button down, it clicks and you have to hit the timer again, ding, and it resets it and keeps on going.
Oh, yeah, Tapple.
So it plays on categories. Category would be sports activities. And then the timer starts and you go around, you have to name something based on a letter of the alphabet. And you hit the timer. And we played that probably for 4 hours last night.
Holy cow.
It was wild. And had no idea it would be that much fun.
Do you understand how extremely rare that is in 2024?
Yes.
For a family to sit around and play a game for 4 hours?
Or even friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And we had a blast.
I feel like that way of life is coming back, though. I really do.
I think that was one of the only things that was positive out of the COVID experience.
Okay, yeah.
Because it forced everyone back together. Unfortunately, the COVID also separated everyone to an extent. Everyone got dug in on their phones.
2 tribes, too.
Yes, or refusing to get back out in public. But it's taken this long to get people comfortable again and wanting to reconnect.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's finally coming to the realization that, you know what, we've been missing out.
Yeah, and there's a new trend now called trad wives. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have. I think it's funny.
It is. What it should just be wife.
Yes.
Trad wife. But, my wife is a proud trad wife where she doesn't work. She doesn't work a job outside of the house, I should say. She works her ass off in the house. And it's not a job that I would want. I can't. Right. I can't do it. If she's gone for 4 hours and it's me and the baby in the house, we're sitting in our underwear watching TV for 4 hours. That's all we're doing. I'm not,
Well, back in 90, before we had our first child, we had this discussion.
Okay.
Is she going to continue to work or is she going to stay home? And we decided that when it came time for our first baby that she was going to stay home. So she worked all the way up until she was almost due.
Yeah.
And then once that came, 1997, our first was born. When you first joined the Army, I think you said.
Yeah.
That's when our first was born, and she never did go back to work. And then we had 5 kids, and it is not easy. I'm here to tell you, if you're going to make that decision needs to be made as a couple. And if you're going to make that decision, you as the man, if you're the man and you're the one who's going to support the family, you need to understand that you're in it to support the family. Mm-hmm. And if things aren't going your way, it is not the time to be selfish.
Yeah.
And say, I'm out, I'm going to go do something else. No, you guys made a decision together.
Yeah.
So you need to run it together and figure out how to make it work. Mm-hmm. We had many, many instances over time of wanting to know how we're going to make something work, how we're going to make it to the next paycheck, how we're going to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
We've had that on and off for the 30 years that we've been married. I would say that it's probably one of the most important and best decisions that we've ever made. There's no guarantees in life, obviously, right? No guarantees with your children, even if you have a stay-at-home parent. Mm-hmm. But for us, it worked out great.
Yeah.
We would never go back and do it another way.
It takes strong people to do it.
It does.
I was married before my first marriage. We were married in 2001, and my wife was 7 months pregnant when we got married. I was young. I was 21, I think. Yeah, I was 21, about to turn 22, and so we just were on survival mode right off the beginning, right out. And then the son was born in May 2001, and I'm in the reserves at the time. 9/11 happened, and probably it wasn't even October yet, where they were like, "Hey, pack your bags," because of the unit. I was in a military intelligence unit, and so yeah, then it was just time away from family, a lot, and it was very hard. And I bounced around a lot. I'd be gone for 3 months here, 6 months there, back home. As a reservist, if you spend, if you're on mobile order, if you're mobilized for more than 6 months, then there's a lot of other stuff that has to happen. I think you're like getting enrolled in the SGLI, the life insurance policy, and then there's a lot of other stuff that goes on. If you're, maybe it's more than a year. I can't remember. But anyway, we were doing like 3 months here and there. And, it was never really considered as an option for us. And I don't know why. Obviously I was young, didn't have any strong guidance in my life when we were just surviving. And, when I volunteered to go back on active duty, then we had the discussion. Okay, I'm going to be on active duty, and she's going to stay home. And then when that was over, I actually got divorced after I got out of the Army, which is backwards. People usually get divorced while they're still in. But I got divorced after. And but if I'm honest, we struggled right from the beginning because we did everything backwards, non-traditional. And so when I met Caitlin, my wife now, when I was dating, that was one of the conversations I wanted to have with every woman I was dating. Like, I had a crazy phase before I met Caitlin. Caitlin was like, oh man, I need to get my shit together because this is a really good woman. I thought I would never, ever get married again. I was dead set. I'm not ever getting married again. Then I met Caitlin. I was like, I need to marry this woman. And she's great. And it really started making me look at things like, hey, this is a chance to do it right this time. And, so we got married, and she worked. And then when we got pregnant, we had the discussion, like, okay, hey, I'm making enough money now that all we have to do is adjust our lifestyle. And that was tough. So we spent a year just living way below our means, pay down as much debt as we could, get ready for the baby. That was another thing. I was never going to have another baby because I'm old. I felt like I'm an old man. I shouldn't be having a baby still, but we had a baby, and it's great. And but that was the big thing: is get comfortable living below your means, be disciplined about your finances, disciplined in how you're living your life, not keeping up with the Joneses. You don't need to drive new cars. You don't need and
No.
the craziest thing is that I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life.
Right.
I have less debt now than I've ever had in my life. It's just so, it's crazy when you live intentionally like that and you're disciplined about it and you make it your life. Like this is how we live, period.
Right. You focus on what's important.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. My wife and I were just laughing about that not too long ago with the kids, because when we first moved off together, once we got married, and then this is when I went into the Army as an officer. We were married just a month before and off together for the first time. Got ourselves an apartment. And, our TV stand was a cardboard box. And we put a little blanket over it. And that was our TV stand. Mm-hmm. Our nightstands were the cardboard drawers. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Cardboard. Those were our nightstands. In which we kept, our underwear, socks, whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't even own a dining room table when we left. And my wife's parents gave us, or let us borrow, because I had to return it eventually, which was a little folding table and 2 chairs.
Wow.
And it fit in our kitchen. That was it. But we loved it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Yeah.
I remember coming home for the first time and Gail making a candlelight dinner. I was like, "Ooh, wow, what's this?" You had to learn to live together.
Right.
We didn't.
Yeah.
So, and the funny thing is we were married 4 months when I got orders to Korea for a year unaccompanied, so she couldn't go with me.
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
So I was in Korea for a year, and we moved her back home. And then when I came back and went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, which is now Fort Liberty, unfortunately. But when we moved back there, and we learned we were newlyweds all over again. We had to learn to live together all over again.
Did she go home to her parents while you were there?
She did not.
Okay.
She stayed in an apartment right down the road from where she grew up.
Okay.
Hindsight, probably would have been better if she did stay with her parents. It just saved us some money.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're trying to do our own thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And, a lot of laughs. We laugh about a lot of that stuff. And, you don't have a lot of money, so you have to figure out what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And so we played games like Boggle.
Yeah.
Just her and I. Or we would read a book together or whatever. Now, I'm dating myself, obviously. Nowadays, people would be doing something crazy like Wordle or something odd.
What is it, Words with Friends you could play?
But you know what? What fun is that? Because you're not doing it together.
Right.
Anybody can do anything on a phone. You
Sure.
people need to put down your phones, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's a lot to life outside of a phone.
It is. Yeah, there is. And that's,
but listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Keep your phones for the podcast. And that's the big movement nowadays. Is if you go, there's a brewery down the street. They make their own beer. They got a pizza oven in the back, and the whole place is vintage arcade games. It's awesome, but there's stacks of board games. Mm-hmm. And these big family style tables, big picnic tables, are all connected. And there's more people sitting playing board games than there are playing Donkey Kong or whatever.
Yeah, I would wonder if that's a unique thing to this area. I don't hear about it anywhere else, but I know that there are probably 4 specific venues here in this area that are specifically towards board gaming.
It's a generational thing. I don't know what okay, so I'm a Gen X.
Yep.
Right. And then after me is millennials.
Gen X.
After me are millennials.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my generation that's doing this. It's a much younger generation that are getting back to more traditional ways of life, of faith, family, and community type of living, growing their own food. And there's a lot of people our age that are doing that. We do that too. My baby has never eaten store-bought baby food. We made our own baby food and breast milk, obviously. But there's just like this movement, the younger kids. I think it was the kids who were in high school probably during COVID, and they're older now, or maybe they were in college during COVID, something like that. And now they realize like, oh, we had our nightlife taken away from us basically, and it was actually better without the clubs and the, movie theaters. And I never, like, why would you pay so much money to go sit in a dark room with somebody and you don't get to talk to them or interact with them at all? You're just basically watching TV when you could.
Oh, that's kind of funny because I actually missed the theater
Do
experience. You? Yes.
Oh, man, I don't.
But there's nothing out there worth going to see.
No.
At least for me.
There's not. No. And, with technology today, you can see movies that are in a movie theater on your TV.
Well, sometimes they're playing in the theater
both.
and they're on live stream at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's the point of going? I mean, that's one of the things.
Yeah. It's very strange. I want to be around the people that I want to be around. And there's a lot of people that I don't want to be around. And so if I'm going to a movie theater, I don't know any of these people. I don't want to be around them, breathing their breath in, and and so I want to go around people who I enjoy being around.
I think you're experiencing some COVID fear still.
Nah, I'm not worried about COVID. That's another part about my past. I was working on an ambulance as a part-time job.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was a firefighter, and then to supplement my income, I had to work on an ambulance part-time. And I was working the day the very first case of COVID was announced, and it was in our county in South Carolina, in the town I was working in. And everybody was like, you would have thought the world stopped turning. And I was like, no, man, people still, we don't care.
Right. Oh, no, it was really funny. I mean, we moved into our home the weekend of the lockdowns. So lockdown took effect in March on a Monday. I don't remember the date, but it was a Monday in March of 2020. And we were in our house by Sunday, 2020. And it was just an odd experience because you move into this house and you see people looking out their windows, but they refuse to come out and say hello to you.
That's crazy.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was, probably almost a year before neighbors would venture out enough to be willing to say, hello, I am so-and-so and I live 2 houses down from you. Oh, well, thanks for the introduction. Appreciate you.
Yeah, South Carolina
you still going to give me some
didn't,
cookies? No.
A lot of people in South Carolina didn't participate in lockdown stuff. Like the schools were closed, library. The cops definitely participated. They were breaking up. Kids are going out in their boats on the river, and the cops would go down there and shut down their parties and send them home. And it was crazy.
This region was closed.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get out of jail free card based on the job I had. That required me to still leave the home every day. And I always hoped that I would get pulled over by a police officer so I could show it. But never did. So it's just an archive in my file somewhere.
I was, I think I told you the story before. I was going home from work from the fire department and stopped at a local bakery in a little small town. And I was still in my uniform, going home. And I was picking up some chocolate croissants for Caitlin. And the lady had her mask on and all that and gloves. And we made our exchange for money for the croissants. And as I pulled my card out of the reader and I'm grabbing my bag, she said, you should really have a mask on. You should know better. I was like, what are you talking about? You're a firefighter. You should know better and have a mask on. I said, ma'am, not only am I a firefighter, I'm also an EMT, and I do know better. And I said, I noticed that you waited until you took my money before you said something to me about it. That's very telling. And then I grabbed my stuff and left. And it was the last time I ever walked in there. But that's kind of how those people, when I said tribes, like it divided people into what we call COVIDiots and then people who are able to think for themselves. And I could see it, like, people, I have COVID and I'm sick. Like, dude, you're not sick at all. Like, I just left somebody's house who was seriously sick with diabetes. Like, they're really sick. You have the sniffles, or you just took an at-home test and think you're sick and you need to go to the hospital. Like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it's taken 4 years for the information to start getting released to really disclose the errors of our ways when it came to COVID.
Yeah, it makes you think it was just a big test run and compliance.
Yeah, who's to say?
Well, I know that a letter was floated out to us firefighters in my department, countywide. If the COVID vaccine was mandatory for you, would you take it or would you leave? And it was pretty much, I'm pretty sure it was unanimous. All of us said we'd walk off the job.
My concern is if we had a real issue moving forward.
Like the H1N1.
And people would reject the guidance from officials because
they don't trust
what
it,
occurred. Yes.
I mean, it shows, it just clearly is, the evidence is like the drones in New Jersey or California. Like there's these weird crap flying around everywhere, and the government's like, it's not us. It's not a foreign agency, and, nothing to worry about. And everybody's like, yeah, right. Nobody has any faith whatsoever in the government anymore.
Well, that was one of our family jokes over this holiday is NORAD was able to track Santa Claus every second of his movements around the world,
right.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, delivering his presents to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't figure out where a drone is coming from or where it's going.
Yeah.
Amazes me.
Right. It's all silly. Like, everything has gone silly. That's just the only way to put it.
Right.
The best thing you can do is turn your TV off, put your phone down, read a book, grow a garden, love your family, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, you know what? Love your family is an important deal. Every year, because we're coming into the last, 3 days before New Year's?
Mm-hmm.
We're real close. And every year at this time, I usually take off work between Christmas and New Year, and I spend my time alone, mostly doing a lot of reflection. And I reflect on the year, and I'm looking at things I did right, things I did wrong, impacts I had on others, what around me had an impact on me. And one of those things I tend to do every year is, and it's been a tradition, at least for me personally, not even for the family members, but for myself. I started, it was probably about 4 years ago, actually, 4 or 5 years ago, I started to watch A Christmas Carol. And I didn't just watch the movie A Christmas Carol. I watched every version I can get my hands on. I even watched this year, I found a 1910 version, silent. It was 11 minutes long. And it still told the same story as the 2-hour version with George C. Scott from the 1984 era. And I watch them, and it's not, for me, one doesn't solve the problem. But watching it 10 times will. And, one of the key statements that was made by Scrooge is that he kept Christmas in his heart all year long. And here we are, we focus on the holidays, and, day after Christmas, my youngest daughter, she works at McDonald's, so she's working at McDonald's. I pick her up at the end of the day, and I go, so, how was your day back to work after the holidays? She goes, everybody is so mean. We didn't get the food out fast enough, and they're all yelling. And I go, isn't that amazing how one day prior, everyone is happy as a clam, wish everybody the best wishes, I love you.
Yeah. And
the next day, they want to take all their anger out on the people they run into because things don't go their way. Clearly, they don't understand what the Christmas message was about.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into the Christmas message. But I will say this, that as a society, we need to really focus on what's important in our lives. Whether or not someone wants to have a baby or not means nothing to keeping everybody together and being respectful of each other and being kind.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to agree to disagree and still be friends.
Yeah.
Anyone can go around and say, because your family members disagree with you, do not interact with them. You are making a huge, devastating mistake on your own self.
Devastating.
Not your family.
Yeah, that's the right word, devastating.
You're making a devastating mistake on yourself and not your family. Your family's still going to love you.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're still having fun and carrying on with their lives. You're the one sitting there in a corner crying and being upset because they don't go your way. So what?
No.
You need to get past that and get to the point where, you know what? I love you even if you don't have the same point of view as me. And you still do your thing. We miss this, and we're missing this tremendously. And we really need to get back to that. And just be respectful of each other's opinion.
Yeah, I think that's true, man. You know, having conversations with people that disagree with you, I've grown more from those conversations than anything else. You know, if you're sitting in an echo chamber, just talking to people who are 100% aligned with everything that you believe in, and you're just slowly regressing in your brain. I think there's something like you're going to forget how to actually socialize with people.
Right. And no wonder you're always upset.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah. And then when something comes in that's not aligned with what you're believing, and all of your friends are exactly the same, you take it like it's an attack. It's an assault on you.
And it doesn't matter what your belief is.
Right.
It can be anything.
Yeah.
You need to understand that half the people disagree with what you just said.
Yeah.
Or what you're thinking. Half. So it doesn't matter. I like bourbon. Half the country couldn't stand bourbon. So what?
Yeah.
You like wine? Drink your wine.
Yeah.
You don't want to drink? Don't drink.
More for me.
I'm not going to be upset.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have a peculiar set of beliefs. You know, I'm not a normal dude.
Oh yeah, we know that.
and you know, a lot of people think I'm pretty weird, and I'm okay with that. I think, you know, I call them normal people. I think they're weird. So, but there are some things that I am liberal on, I would guess. There's some things I'm conservative about. Sure. There's a lot of things that I'm an anarchist about, and there's some things I'm a totalitarian about.
Right, and you know what? It doesn't matter what we believe.
No.
If we sit and talk long enough with each other, we're going to connect in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will always agree on something.
Yep, I 100% believe that.
And you know what? Why not give it a try?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at who you might run across and be your friend.
Man,
might be the best friend of your life.
Yeah.
Someone who completely disagrees with just about everything you believe in.
Right, but they'd be willing to take a bullet for you.
Sure.
Probably. Yeah, I like that. Maybe we'll try to do that in this show.
Yeah.
Get somebody who disagrees with us. I'm sure me and you will have some disagreements.
I'm already disagreeing with you. Not really.
We want to talk about Israel or what?
Nah.
We'll disagree.
Yeah, we'll dodge politics today.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the show, I mean, what we're turning into is kind of like what we're talking, this conversation is going is who we are, what we believe, and you know, just where we want to go. You know, it's about to be 2025 where, you know, back in the day you watch, what was it, Back to the Future Part 2 or Part 1 where he went to 2000 or something like that? I think
that was the second one.
Was that the second one?
Yeah.
And he's, you know, they had hoverboards and, you know, the clothes that you put them on and then you hit a button and it automatically fits your body, and the shoes that lace themselves up. And imagine what it was back in the 60s. It was they're going to have flying cars by the year 2000. They're going to, you know, all that stuff. And man, we're going backwards. We have all this technology at our fingertips and all this stuff, and all it's done is driven a wedge in society where we would be better off just sitting around a fire, eating some meat off a stick, and having a conversation with each other. Maybe sing some songs. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's so strange that, you know, we want to progress as a society, and it's really like, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. Maybe you should take a look in the mirror and look at what your clothes style is today, or your hairstyle, or how you're listening to your music. Yeah. Because the 1980s are rocking it right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's when I grew up. And, you know, people are back to vinyl. People are wearing bell bottoms, even though that's a 70s thing.
Yeah.
You see that in their pants. They're getting back with the longer hair. They're starting to poof it up a little bit, I guess.
Are they?
Women are. I'm starting to notice that.
Oh.
You know, there's quite a few things that are floating around out there that were popular in the 80s that are being popular again today. And most of the kids probably don't even know it came from the 80s. Even my youngest daughter right now, her favorite type of music, 80s.
Really?
80s rock. She just fell in love with 80s rock overnight. Don't even know how it happened.
Yeah?
And I'm going, oh, wow, you're listening to a song I know.
Yeah.
Where'd you come across that? Oh, I don't know. I just love it.
So I was born in 79, and then I don't really remember much of the 80s. I remember like Rambo and Commando and G.I. Joe. That's about all I remember of the 80s. Ronald Reagan. And then the 90s is really when I was like, I'm a teenager. I knew, you know, I think the big turning point for me was watching the Gulf War on TV. We were sitting eating dinner, watching the Gulf War. That was pretty wild. Then I started paying attention to the world around me more. But yeah, we all wanted to be hippies, like in the 60s. We wore tie-dye and, you know, ratty jeans and listened to Jimi Hendrix. I drove a 1974 Dodge Dart. And it was the coolest car in the world. And yeah, that's all I wanted to do was like drag race, and listen to old music.
Speaking of, I met the Santa at the local mall here.
Yeah.
He used to be a drag race team owner.
Oh, really?
And his car was a Dart.
Nice.
If you can believe that.
Oh, I believe it.
And that was his drag racing car.
It's a badass car. I called it the Chick Magnet. It was gold. It was a great car. But yeah, I think there's some nostalgia about the past in every generation. Mm-hmm. So I guess now it's the 80s turn to be nostalgia about. I mean, I think every man should have a mustache, personally. That's just...
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm wondering when the Civil War era of facial hair is going to go away.
I can't...
Or
no.
it will.
No way, man.
Sooner or later it will. I mean, it went away, and then it was... You know, you actually were looked down upon if you had facial hair for a number of years through the 20th century.
Yeah.
And then people started to grow it all back again. And, you know, everybody's walking around with the Taliban beards, which I still, just to this day, I just don't get. But, I mean, that's okay.
What about mountain man beards?
Yeah, mountain man, I guess.
There you go. Like the American West, the people who discovered the American West.
Yeah, but, you know, most people at that time still had a well-trimmed beard if you look at the pictures. See, unless you're looking at, you know, again, like you said, the mountain man, that it's, you know, all frizzled.
I bet the first thing they did was take a bath and shave their face when they got to town.
Most of them probably did. Most books, if you read a lot of books, you know, about that era or whatever, that's one of the things that they always write about in their books is getting a hot bath and shaving.
Oh, yeah. I went 30 days one time without a shower when I was in Korea. We were up near the DMZ, 30 days, just in foxholes, no showers, no hot food.
Yeah, but you had a shower in a box, right?
We had a 5-gallon water can.
You didn't use baby wipes?
No, well, those run out after about a week.
You know,
and yeah, we tried it. Hey man, you stand up on the back of the Humvee and hold the 5-gallon jug, and I'm gonna wash my pits and my crotch, and even like it was just like, this sucks. It's just gonna be dirty. But man, that first shower, it was glorious.
Right.
I remember it to this day. I remember what it feels like. It was awesome. I can't imagine going 6 months just washing up in a cold stream or something. That'd be crazy. Well, you know, I was a firefighter, so mustaches are a big tradition in the fire service because the guys would grow their mustaches out long, so it would cover their mouth, and they would soak it with water. This is before the self-contained breathing apparatus, before any sort of safety protocols, anything like that. You know, the guys were wearing like rubber jackets and a hard hat, and they would grow their mustache out real long, so it would cover their whole entire mouth, and then they would soak it with water. Sometimes they would put a wet sponge in their mouth, but they would soak their mustache with water so they could breathe a little bit easier in the smoke. Fires were way different back then than what they are today.
Interesting.
But, yeah, so that's why you see a lot of firefighters with mustaches. And so I try to keep that tradition alive.
I had no idea. I just want to know how you eat when you grow it over your mouth like that.
Well, you gotta clean it afterwards. Some guys have hairpins that pin it up with little bobby pins or something. It's crazy.
I don't want to know.
I don't know. I keep a mustache for a little while. I grew it out for November for the boys.
Same here.
Yeah. And my wife said I need to keep it. She loves it. So whatever she wants, she gets.
I kept mine only because no one in my family noticed I was messing around with it afterwards, which was kind of disappointing. So I just kept it until one night I kissed my wife goodnight and she went, "Oh, what? You just stuck me in the face." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go ahead and shave it."
There you go. That's what it took, huh?
Yeah.
You need to kiss your wife more often.
But I did have a full beard once.
Yeah.
Grew out a full beard. It took about 4 months. I mean, it was a full beard. And my wife actually got used to it and liked it. And then I shaved it, and then, she didn't like it.
I think I had a full beard when we first met, did I?
Yeah, it was trimmed.
Yeah.
But I'm talking, I didn't shave.
Yeah.
It was a full beard. Matter of fact, I did so well with it, I passed as a homeless man one day.
Got some money put in your hand?
Where there was a local auto shop where I used to take my cars to get maintenance work done. And one of the ways I used to exercise is I didn't have anybody come pick me up. I just walked home.
Yeah.
And I had a rucksack that I carried on my back. And I just walked home, walked through different city streets or whatever, and get back to my house. And it's about a 4-mile walk. And at the time, I was wearing, my uniform pants from work, which were brown khakis, like work khakis, and a T-shirt. And I had a Baja on, poncho type thing.
Yeah.
People call them different things. And my rucksack. And my full beard, and I had a ball cap that was old and stained, but I liked it when I did my walks. That's what I wore. Mm-hmm. And it was raining, and I'm walking home, and I'm on one of the streets, and all of a sudden this car pulls over, and she winds down her window and says, "Sir, please take this umbrella. I want you to have this umbrella." And I said, No, ma'am, I appreciate that. I'm fine." She goes, "No, really, I want you to have this umbrella because, you know what, you shouldn't be out here in weather like this, and I wish I could do more for you." Mm. And so I took the umbrella.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't need it. I'm going home. Yeah. But she doesn't know that.
Right.
And it made her day because she gave me an umbrella.
That's great.
And, I had it on for a little bit until the car disappeared out of sight. Then I undid it and continued to walk in the rain. But I always told myself that if I had to disguise myself and become the gray man and pose as a homeless man, I can pass.
There you go. That's good. I think that's a good ending point, man. Give an umbrella to a stranger.
There you go.
Love each other.
Well, you know what? That's out of, what is that? I think it's, I can't remember the book right now. But I want to say it's Hebrews, Book of Hebrews. Mm. You may entertain angels and not know it. Wow. So practice hospitality with strangers. Because you never know who you're benefiting. So, yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will be back next week, I think.
Yes.
We're going to have another bourbon to taste. We're going to discuss some books that we're reading, I think.
Maybe.
What's going on in our lives, current events. You guys know where we live now, which is weird.
Most
to me. I'm just a weirdo. But thanks for coming by, Kevin, and doing this. It's fun. And I look forward to continuing in the future.
Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye.